Tonight I'm going to keep it real short and simple for you guys. Um, Solely because the stuff that's going on in the market right now, there's a few reasons why the market's swaying the way it is. And a few of those things are things we've talked about before. So Forex Factory Calendar, um, talked last week about this being NFP week. So NFP, we have that this week. A lot of the manufacturing numbers and numbers that help to show us how business economics are doing, they come out this week. Also, they're pushing forward with the stimulus package this week. So the Senate is going to be voting and going through with the process of approving the stimulus package this week. So there's a lot of optimism in the market. So when you look at the stock market, you see where the stock market is. A couple of things I want you guys to keep in mind is that the third Friday of every month, options close. So that's one time of the month where you know for a fact, okay, the stock market's going to be kind of weird today. Also, the end of the month, because if you think about it, most companies are balancing books at the end of the month. Banks are shifting and trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to get out of? What am I going to get into? Let's see what this next month holds. They're also doing it at the end of the month because a lot of the month to month economic numbers have already come out and they're able to do comparisons and see, okay, what do we do? Also, companies have had earnings come out. So a lot of different things play into why the stock market fluctuates and moves the way that it does. But since last week was technically the last full week of February, this is the first full week of March. And so, well, as far as business days are concerned. So we'll be moving forward into March and just really seeing what the new year has in store for us, especially with this being NFP. We're really going to start looking at where the jobs are being gained and where the jobs are being lost. If we have a really strong upward movement in the economy, and this movement is true as the stock market is showing us, then we should be seeing improvements not only in manufacturing, but we should be seeing increasing job numbers in the airline sector, in travel and leisure. A lot of the companies who said that at some point in time they were going to put people back in the office, we should be seeing people start to move towards being in the office. We should start seeing kids go back to school. There's a lot of things we have to see to just really say that our economy is just getting better. Speaking of economy and COVID, Johnson and Johnson has, put their vaccine out there. It's being rolled out now. There are places who are receiving this vaccine. That makes, another vaccine that's out on the market. However, there are vaccines that have been distributed, people have already gotten, that are not going to be able to cover these new strains of the coronavirus. So that's a thing that these pharmaceutical companies are going to have to take a look at. So those are going to be things that are going to be in the news this week, next week, and kind of going forward up until Easter, because like I said, Easter is the first major travel holiday. So between now and then, we really have to figure out what's truly going on with COVID. Are the vaccines helping? Are they not helping? Are people going to really be able to adhere to guidelines during this travel season? So that's a lot of the news outside of the Forex Factory calendar that you'll be hearing about. But a lot of that news also ties into the Forex Factory calendar. So just taking a look at some of the news that came out today, Flash manufacturing and ISM manufacturing numbers, they were good. At or above forecast is what you want to see. When I was talking about houses and housing prices and the housing market and stuff last week, this is one of the numbers I kind of sort of referenced to, but this is construction spending. This is corporate and residential construction spending, but it's like 1% over forecast. So that's something that I will be taking a look at over the next several weeks or so, and just really seeing like, okay, is this true? is this for repairs? Is this for upkeep, maintenance, or is this true new construction spending that's going towards economic growth? Are these constructions going to put jobs into the market? So I'll be taking a look at that, just keeping an eye on that number, be looking at home numbers also. But this ISM manufacturing number is a really good sign because businesses are producing. They're producing, they're putting products out, and the manufacturers actually feel good about the future, which is a really good thing. And the balance of what they're paying for products versus what they're able to get in return for the product is good as well. And that's demonstrated here in the manufacturing prices. So moving forward, the rest of the evening, we'll be looking for this Australian rate news to come out. As I said before, I don't expect their rate to change, expect for it to stay the same. For a lot of these countries, especially the major currency countries, so that's the United States, Canada, the UK, the European Union, which is 18 countries, Switzerland, which kind of sits off by itself from the European Union, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, all those countries, when they have rate news that comes up in the near future, I'm not expecting any of those countries to change their rate because they did a lot of rate changes in the last 14 months. So you have to give those rate changes time to actually settle in the market, and you have to figure out where your economy is going to settle out with those rates before you do anything else that's lowering or increasing the rates, because you want to see where the benefit's going to be in actually doing either of those. So I don't expect for them to change their rate. Tuesday or tomorrow, Canada GDP numbers come out. I'll just be listening for how Canada's economy is doing as well as Australia's economy. So maybe Friday on a Zoom call before I do the recap, I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview of how some of these countries are related to each other. But just for now, I'll tell you about Canada and Australia. So Canada and Australia are linked together through the UK. So UK citizens, because of the Queen and because of how British explorers traveled the world back in the day, Canada, Australia, New Zealand have really close ties to the UK. So when you have a UK passport, you don't have to get a work visa for a job. You just apply for a job in these places and you can travel and go as you please. So that's one of the benefits. Also, some Caribbean countries have British ties as well. And pretty much the same rules apply for the most part, that you can travel back and forth to and fro because, the Queen is on a lot of money around the world. I just, whenever you're free, you have some time, just take a look at the currencies around the world there. You'd be amazed at how many different currencies actually have the face of the Queen on it. It's quite a few. So we'll be looking really closely at those two GDP numbers tomorrow. We'll talk about them on Wednesday. Wednesday is a really important day because it is the preliminary jobs number that comes out for the US. We always get this number on the Wednesday before NFP. We get ISM services numbers, we get crude oil inventories, and then we just also have a lot of news bunched in there too for the UK, for New Zealand. So Wednesday is going to be a pretty important day just to kind of hear about what's going on around the world, how these countries are going to be treating COVID going forward, and then also just hearing how these countries plan to stay afloat, especially the UK. After Brexit, their infrastructure with imports and exports kind of fell apart a little bit. So I definitely want to hear and see what their annual budget release is going to be like, how much money they plan to put towards, just different sectors in their market. This will be the first true official one that they've had. So it'll be very important for not only them, but countries who have any ties with them as far as trade is concerned to hear these numbers as well. And we're being the US, we're one of those people. And then Thursday, important because OPEC, we get those meetings on Thursday, and then also Jerome Powell speaks on Thursday. We'll talk about OPEC on Wednesday, and we'll go back and look at Jerome Powell's last speech and see what he left out. So we always talk about what he talks about, but we have to go back and see like what things did he not say and see if and when we can see hints of those things, and just try to figure out what the Fed is going to do about just certain elements of our economy or issues that he skated around that he said he was going to come back to during his last speech. Let's see if he answered any of those questions yet. And then Friday is NFP. So this is where we take a good look at average hourly earnings. We take a look at the employment change to see how many jobs have been gained or lost in the United States. And then we'll also be taking a look at the unemployment rate. So just kind of referencing back to Jerome Powell on this topic, he talked about the implied unemployment rate and he talked about jobs. So basically, the way that our unemployment rate gets measured is measured by the same company who does the census. And whenever they measure these numbers, they're getting these numbers from corporations, but then they also get these numbers from the state's unemployment offices. They're trying to tally these numbers and figure out essentially what category people fit into. Are you new? Have you been here? Are you about to fall off? Meaning like your benefits are about to run out. Like where do you stand? And then of those people who might be filing for unemployment, are you working, but your hours have been reduced? Are you not working at all? Are you a temporary or seasonal employee? So those are all different categories that could be considered unemployed because a person who is working 16 hours now, when they used to work 40, could be considered unemployed because their hours have been reduced by so much. So when we're looking at these numbers and you see those numbers flash across the screen on the news and on CNBC, and they hype all these numbers and stuff up or downplay these numbers, it's so important to go look at the report and actually see how they calculated the number because it changes. One thing I want to say to you guys is that from the fundamental standpoint, things are about correlations and things, how they are at the moment, but those things change over time. How these government agencies measure numbers changes over time. It changes to fit what they need. So unemployment rate does not necessarily mean that these people don't have jobs. It could just be that their hours have been reduced by a certain amount, or they're seasonal, or they're a temp employee. These people are probably still working. Temp employees and seasonal employees still work. They just don't work as often as a full-time employee. Or it could be, in the case of the employment change, that a person goes from being in the unemployment line to having a job, and let's say they don't have benefits. Well, they might not get counted because they don't have benefits. So all those numbers and all those things will be in the report. It's usually in the first 5 pages. It's like paragraphs, and they'll tell you how they calculated the number and why they did it according to them. And so you'll be able to see month compared to the month before and so on, how these numbers are calculated to truly get an accurate sense of what the unemployment rate is like. So that's why when Jerome Powell said the implied unemployment rate, this 6.3% really isn't 6.3, it's more like 8.5. And it's just because of how the number gets calculated that month. So you have to go back and just really dig and look. And so Jerome Powell is saying, like, you know, hey, things are a little more off than what the numbers show. For those of you who've asked me about that and just kind of wondered why he said the things that he said during his last speech, you know, that was why. So take a look at those reports, look at them, read them. You don't have to read the whole thing because a lot of it is just charts and graphs with a bunch of numbers, but read the paragraphs where they summarize things for you, so that you can get a good grasp of how they calculate those numbers. And that's all I'm going to go over with you guys tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Levels so that he can get started with the technicals. Thank you guys for listening.
Cool beans. Appreciate you, Carmen. Great information, great fundamentals as always. Jump into these technicals, y'all. Cool beans. So starting with the dollar, as always, being with the fundamentals that Carmen just gave us, knowing that they're about to pass this stimulus package that's going to put a lot of money into the economy, do a lot of stimulating. So I do expect to see the dollar to continue to rise and probably rise throughout the week. I have my eyes on these previous highs from November of last year, around 0.94 cent. And we could see the dollar feeling all of this sell side imbalance that we have right here. So that'll be interesting to see how the stimmy, as I call it, the stimmy, it'll be interesting to see how the stimmy affect the economy and affect the dollar this week. But I do expect the dollar to continue to show us bullish momentum throughout the rest of the week. So looking at our currencies, we know that our currency pairs move in the opposite direction of the dollar. So of course, we would be expecting Euro USD to give us a bearish move this week. I want to see, take all that out, delete that. I got my eyes on this level for Euro USD. See, what's that? Like 100 pips. That ain't bad. Take it down to the hour. Oh yeah, she trending good to the downside too. Trending real good, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, giving us that move now. We just want to wait for it to give us a pullback retest of this structure right here. Take on down to the downside and ride out. Ride out. So y'all know my thoughts for Euro USD. Start the week out with. Let's look at GBP USD. Same thing. We know GBP USD move in the opposite direction of the dollar as well. So I got my eyes on this structure over here. Previous structure. Yeah. It's 50 pips. That ain't bad to start the week out with. She already pushing. That's beautiful right there. That's probably gonna play out beautiful. And she might come on. Matter of fact, that'll just be like a TP1. This will be like a TP2. TP3, and you could write it down because I'm very interested in this imbalance right here. That's beautiful. We could get that move this week. It might take us all week to achieve it, but we very well could get that move this week. Let me see. What's that? That'll be about, that's like 300 pips, y'all. All y'all pound traders out there, you better keep your eyes on pound. You know, I don't trade pound, but you better keep your eyes on them. Oh yeah, this look beautiful right here. Let me take all this off. Yeah, got these fairly equal lows right here. NZD USD, we know it's moving in the opposite direction of the dollar as well. So I like this. It's liquidity right here, sell side liquidity right here. We got buy side imbalance over here that needs to get filled all the way in. Yeah. It has got filled in, but we still looking for the sale though. So see. Yeah. We could swing up under here. Yep. Could swing up under there. As a matter of fact, I like that. So yeah, we could see that this week. Yeah, we could see that this week. Yes, sir. Yeah, it's like 100 pips. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Let's move on to silver. I got my eyes on this $24 price target for silver. I want to see if silver give us a push down to $24 this week. Just got to get below this low, break below this structure right here and hold it. And then we should get down to $24 this week. So this will be a good short opportunity for silver for the week once we get up under this structure, this low right here. We just need to get up under there and hold it. We get up under there and hold it, price should fall down to $24. Gold already been pushing hard to the downside. Let me just take this out for a second. Go to my daily time frame. Huh? We got good looks. She done gave us the gold. Done gave y'all the move, right? Like all this was that was the sale. That was the opportunity for the sale right there. Now we got to deal with this structure right here. We got to see what price do with this structure. Um, yeah. If we hold it, we could see gold push back up, but I wouldn't try to buy gold right now. Just need to get up under this structure. If we can get up under this structure right here, then we definitely can expect gold to come back down and retest these lows because it's lots of liquidity, lots of sell side liquidity at these lows, around 1560, 1450. So yeah, let's see. Let's see, man. This week gonna be big, man. I got a feeling this gonna be a big week. Yeah. So let's look at oil. Oil giving us that pullback. I want oil to come back down and retest around $52 and then give us a pushback to the upside. So we'll see how oil play. Let me see. Yeah. And last but not least, U30. I want to see U30 fill in this little imbalance we got right here. This little buy side imbalance right here. I want to see it at least come down and retest this engulfing candle. And from current price, that's like 9,000 pips, 9,575 to be exact. So that's what I'm looking for out of U30 this week. And we could possibly see U30 give us about 30,000 pips this week. So we just got to be on our P's and Q's and pull the trigger when it's time to pull the trigger. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to my man Ghost if he got anything to add.
I'm here. Okay, let me see my screen. The screen situated. Okay. I'll start with the U30 because that's what I'm actually looking at right now. It's definitely making head and shoulders on a 15-minute chart. Just going to see if this holds. I sent that out on the Telegram just for everybody to watch it. Could be a fake out, but it looked like it's gonna hold. It's making moves to look like that. This thing is going to hold. See the trying to get the chart right. Well, y'all see it. Let me see. I was trying to get, I can't find a tool for the head and shoulders, so I'll just do this. That. And we'll see if it comes down here. I got it coming to at least right here before it bounce off, or it might just push straight through. That's what I got so far for US 30. Pretty much watching it. I jumped in to sell a little I jumped in the sell a little bit early because I didn't cause something I seen, but once it broke here, I jumped in the sell a little bit early. But to be honest, I would like to see it break down here and hold under there before I send out a signal. I'm already in a trade, but I didn't want to send a signal while I was stuck in consolidation. So that was with that. Like Mr. Level said, it could drop. US 30 could drop so far. It got so far to drop. I don't know when it's gonna give the drop. I've been waiting for this drop for I don't know how long. I've been waiting for the drop forever, guys. So I'm just waiting and being patient on that. GBP, USD, the pound. I'm waiting to it to get out of the consolidation. We was already on an uptrend. This could be a pullback, but it's caught in this consolidation right here on a 4-hour chart. I'm waiting for a break and a clear break and retest to take it either way. I am buy bias though, but I'm just going to wait to see how it plays out because it's been trying to push up, but it's been pushing down. So, you know, even though I'm buy bias, I could become sell bias real quick if it continues to push down. But with that being said, that's with that. Just waiting for it to break this consolidation. Keep your eyes out on the DJI. See if it makes that and continues with the head and shoulders, or if it's a fake out. Then I go to gold. We missed the move on gold. I caught a little to sell earlier. If you see my put it on the story, but this is the big move, and I got it coming to around 1680. The market likes round numbers, so I'm gonna start looking at the candlestick play around here to see if there's a buy available. But I'm just staying out of gold right now. Right now, it's currently at what 1713. I still got it coming down a lot, but I'm going to stand by and wait. I'm not going to try to jump in this sell so late without a pullback, and I'm definitely not going to get in a buy with this big strong push down right here. So it's just about being patient right now. It's about being patient. The closest thing I got coming into fruition now is this DJI play. I just got to see what it's going to actually do. If it's going to continue to be this head and shoulders, it's going to continue to form this on the 15-minute, or if it gives me a bounce off of here, I would probably take the sell down, but I'm just waiting to see. I'm already in one. I will probably add another play in this come down. Just being patient and waiting to see. You guys looking, just make sure you pay attention to that because it's definitely a head and shoulder on the 15-minute and a 5-minute. And if you look at this DJI, it is a gap that needs to be filled from earlier. So it would be nice if it came all the way down here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but this area right here needs to get filled in from earlier. Doesn't mean it will, but there's a nice gap right here. So we'll see. I'm really looking forward to come up under here, retest, and I'll be looking to take it down. So keep my eyes on that. And that's what I got for the 3 pairs that I trade. Those are the 3 pairs that I trade. Waiting for the consolidation to break on a 4-hour with the GJ. Excuse me. Waiting for this consolidation to break. I'm not taking a buy or sell in between here. And I'm waiting for this move is just so I'm just waiting to play right here. So I'm just being patient. I got one selling right now. I jumped in a little bit early. But I'm on a BE, so I'm in for a free trade. So I'll take it from there and that's it. That's what I got, brother. And everybody, group.
Cool beans. We appreciate you, Ghost, as always.
Mr. Level, what do you think about this head and shoulders for me? On a between.
Yeah, I like it, man. It looks good. And with the fundamentals, with Carmen's fundamentals and everything that's going on right now in the economy, yeah, we should see some profit taking, and we should see U30 start to give us bearish momentum, man. So
It's about time, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the only reason I'm bearish right now on the pound is because if they stimulate the economy with this stimulus package and the dollar give us that bullish momentum, then the pound probably gonna give us some temporary bearish momentum
Okay.
according to
Right.
fundamentals. But you already know we don't predict the market, we roll with the market.
Hey,
So
listen, man. That's why I'm just waiting to see, man. I jumped in a little bit earlier. I'm in good profit, but I had a real tight stop loss on that sell, and it just worked out. But waiting to see where it goes or what it does from here.
cool beans, cool beans. Great analysis as always, bro. At this time, I'm gonna end the meeting and take any questions.